Greetings, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Amplified Nevada Native Youth. We're glad to have everyone here with us tonight. We have a great show for you tonight. We are going to be highlighting the College Board's Indigenous College Planning Guidebook, and we'll go a little bit more over it in a little bit. But before I do that, I just want to say thank you all for coming out tonight, taking the time out of your day to be with us and learn more about college. And for all the youth out there, we hope you learned a lot tonight. We have a lot of info for you, hopefully to set your path for college and any type of post-secondary education. And so before we get into anything else too, I'd like to highlight next week, we're going to be having Warrior Brown from IAIA, sorry about that. And he's going to be talking a little bit more about their school down in Santa Fe. And so before we get into everything, we'll do a little bit of introductions about our host for tonight. And so the same as always, we have myself and Ferdina. And so for myself, my name is Avery Wyatt. I'm a student at the University of Nevada, Reno. I'm studying public health and political science with a minor in addiction treatment services. And I've been working with ANNY for about going on 3 months now. It's going really well. We look forward to helping everyone out in the future and it expanding even more. So thank you. Ferdina, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ferdina Jai Romero, and I'm with the Nevada Department of Education. And we're excited to have the ANNY tonight highlight some college pathway information to our students. And we're joined this evening by high school students who are part of the Native Youth Community Project Grant. So we're really excited to have you with us tonight. And make sure you look at all the resources and information that is provided on our YouTube page as well as the Facebook page. Back to you, Avery.
Cool, thanks, Dina. And so we have a very special guest along with our students tonight. We have Sandra Mitrovich. And so Sandra her pronouns are she, her, hers, and she's a tribal, Sandra, I'll let you say your tribal affiliations. I don't want to mispronounce it. So Sandra is her she, her, hers, and she's a tribal.
No worries, Avery. Thank you so much. Hey, Tanani, everybody. I'm Sandra Mitrovich. It is such a pleasure to be here this evening with everybody. I am both Time and Yamani Maidu from Northern California, but I'm joining us today. We're joining ANNY rather today from Nuo Territory here in Reno, Nevada. So excited to be a part of this broadcast. Most of you know Avery. I got to work with Avery for a very long time at the University of Nevada, Reno, and just very proud of all of his accomplishments. He's such a great leader and ambassador, and thankful to him and Ferdina for putting together ANNY. And for those of you that don't know Ferdina, or I should say those that do, because across Indian country, I think Ferdina is known as a leader in Indian country and education especially, and she's a great mentor and friend. So I'm so blessed to be here and be a part of this broadcast. Tonight, I'm very fortunate to be able to participate with guests from the Native Youth Community Project grant, and Urington and McDermott students are joining us tonight. And so I'm so excited to welcome them. I got to work with the Native Youth Community Project grant from its inception. And so it's been exciting to see all the students that have participated in the program along the way and all the things they've been able to accomplish. And so I want to definitely say thank you to both Ferdina and Avery for putting this together and making this a part of NYCP. And then also want to welcome our students today and get the show started. This is a student-led initiative. And so we want to have a great conversation tonight with them about their plan for college. And so first on the screen is Tristan, and would you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about where you're from, and also your grade if you can too.
Hello everybody, my name is Tristan Bitt. I go to McDermott Combined School. I am a junior, class of 2022.
Fantastic. We also have our hosts joining us back again, Ferdina and Avery. And I know we're going to kind of get into a conversation tonight. Avery's going to lead us in a conversation about the Indigenous Pathway book. And so let's get started.
We do have two students who, with our connectivity in our rural locations and our frontiers, so they'll join us back on soon.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, thank you, Sandra and Ferdina. And yeah, thanks for being here with us, Tristan. I know you're a junior, so it's really important. You're in a crucial time right now when it comes to your college stuff. You're right at the beginning. So before we get into everything, we'll talk a little bit about the Indigenous College Planning Guidebook. And so we have that guidebook that we're going to be highlighting this week, and also in a couple of weeks, we're going to be highlighting the Native Pathways Guidebook. And each guidebook has its own sort of things that it covers, that it has differences that I think are both equally important. And so tonight we'll just go over the College Board's guidebook, and in a couple of weeks we'll go over the Native Pathways Guidebook. And so before we get into anything too, Sandra, Ferdina, would you like to talk a little bit more about why it's important that we're sharing these tonight?
You know, absolutely. One of the things I think that's most crucial, and I know that Ferdina and I have talked about this on so many different occasions via text messages and just, you know, in planning, is how do you get students, communities and families to plan for college, right? What does that look like? What does that process entail? And so one of the things that I think we can find in both the college guidebook that we're going to go through tonight and then the one next week that Avery's already mentioned to everybody is that this is really in itself a guide to get you thinking. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're so excited to do that with students tonight. We're going to talk about getting you thinking, processing. What does that look like? What are you passionate about? How do you start to plan for the future? But the future isn't always so far away. The future is today, right? You can do a lot of little things today to start getting yourself prepared for college and career planning. So I think that's part of what we're going to get into tonight and get us started really brainstorming. And that's really kind of where a lot of the college planning starts with. But I also want to stress, when we're thinking about Indigenous college planning, it's not just the students, right? It's not just the students attending college. It's our families and our communities that come with us. And so how do we plan also with that in mind?
Right. And also just working in higher education, post-secondary education before coming to the Department of Education. I worked in the tribal college and just making sure that our students are prepared once they get to college. And these guidebooks are so essential that it helps a student to kind of think about, you know, what they're going to do in their freshman year, their sophomore year, their junior year, and their senior year, and kind of takes them through a process throughout their entire K through 12, so that they're prepared when they get to college. Of course, we all have different experiences, whether it's college or you're going into your career. It's helpful to have these guidebooks to help you kind of get an idea of what college is about. And through our grant, we actually allow our students to attend the colleges. Of course, this is a part of our virtual part of getting them to see different types of colleges and universities out there. So really excited to hear more about what Avery has prepared for us for this guidebook.
Cool. Thanks, both Ferdina and Sandra. And so we'll get into this right now before we start getting on other topics. So for those who don't know, this is College Board's Indigenous College Planning Guidebook. And so if you're looking for a copy of this guidebook, feel free to take a look at our Facebook page. And so we actually posted a link, and we can post it again after this episode. We will let everyone know where the link is at. And so first off, we'll get a little bit into this. 1 second. And so this is one quote I pulled from the guidebook that I really thought was important. And this was off of the first page when it was on the welcome. And so it says, when I started my college planning journey many years ago, I had no idea what to expect or how to navigate the process. Neither of my parents have college degrees. They told me that I'd go to college, just not how to get there. And so that's why we're doing this tonight, is that this is very common for Native students. They're always told to go to college, but they're not really told how to get there or the pathway to get there. And so hopefully with this episode and with this guidebook, you're able to sort of design your own pathway to college. And the journey to college can be daunting and overwhelming, especially for Native students who, like me, are first generation college students. And so, like Brian said, this is Brian Wish. He was a first generation college student, like many Native students that we have out there. And so many of us are coming from like from our NYCP students, they're coming from rural reservations and they are first gen. So that's a whole nother level that isn't really talked about. And so that's why we really do need to help these students. And that's why we're here today presenting this guidebook, just to make sure we can ensure a path to college for you students out there. And so first off, we'll jump into your junior year. So for those of you who are juniors, and also to sort of touch on those of you who aren't juniors yet. So middle schoolers, freshmen, sophomores. And I think it's really important that you're in a crucial stage. Like a couple weeks ago, we had Beans, and she's from McDermott or Oahe, and she's in 8th grade, and we had her on one of our shows we were talking about college. And I think it's really important that we have her on because she's already getting that experience that many students don't even have yet. And so when you're a freshman and sophomore, I think it's important for you to still keep up the ideals that we talked about today, because you're still going to need to keep those grades up. You're going to need to be involved in extracurriculars, sports, and anything just to sort of make your college career ready. Because when you're in high school, it may not seem like it, but that freshman and sophomore year is really crucial. Because I know even as for my story, I've really kind of messed up my freshman year. And so that reflected into my senior year. So I think it's important to really be on those grades, pay attention in class, in the front of class, and yeah, just make the most of your freshman and sophomore year too, along with your junior year. And so first off, the first steps when it comes to being a junior. And so when you're in fall of your junior year, what you're going to want to do first, this is, like I said, this is from the College Board. So you're going to want to create a collegeboard.org account. And so what this is that it's a free account through College Board. And here you'll be able to manage everything from your college list, your SAT scores, to scholarship searches. And it's all through their website that they offer. And also you're going to want to practice for the SAT and ACT. And so you can link your College Board account to the SAT stuff, and they offer practice materials for you on their webpage. And if you've already taken it already, you'll get a personalized SAT practice plan based on these results too. And so I think it's really important, like for myself, I believe I took the SAT my junior year. And one thing that was interesting is that I actually got a higher score on my first time I took it than the second time. And so when it's important to sort of start planning for the SAT, because you're going to want to take it in the spring, and we'll touch on that in a little bit. But like I said, they do offer some practice inside the guidebook for you. And there's other practice that you can do on the outside. And so the next step is what you're going to want to do is to explore AP courses. And so I'm not really sure. A lot of high schools are different. But if your high school does offer AP courses, you're going to want to do more research on them and maybe even take them. And so I remember when I was in high school, I took AP Government, AP Environmental Science, and I took another AP class. Can't really remember right now, but these AP classes, what many people don't know is that they transfer over to college, many of them. And so if you do take an AP class and you pass the AP test, you'll be able to pass those grades on to your college transcript, and you won't have to take those classes in college, or you'll be put at a higher level when you start college. And the next step, what you're going to want to do is create your college list. And this is really important. You're going to want to ask friends, family members, teachers, other college students for input, like myself or anybody you may know. And then make a list of at least 6 colleges. And so you're going to want to make this list just to really expand your mind, because if you make it a really short list, you never know. Maybe you might not get in, or maybe those colleges might not be for you. And so when you're thinking about exploring your different college options, you want to think, oh, what kind of the colleges would I like? Do I want to go to a 2-year college, a 4-year college, the location? We featured Fort Lewis. Do I want to be in Durango, Colorado? Do I want to be in Reno, Nevada? Do I want to be in Vegas? Do I want to be in Arizona, a cold place, a hot place? That's a lot of things you have to think about. And also cost. And so when you look at cost, you want to think, oh, a tribal college may actually waive your tuition, while a major university, you're going to have to pay for college. And so that's one thing that you're really going to have to think about. And also majors that are offered at the college. So if you're interested in, say, public health, or if you're interested in mining, there's colleges that offer certain degrees for or like they specialize in degrees that other colleges don't. And also look at the learning environment that it offers. Is it something that is known as so-called a party school, or is it something that's more academic? You just really want to learn into that because it can be distracting, especially for students who are coming to colleges that they, or who are moving to cities which they aren't really used to. And now going on to your winter. And so in your winter semester, you're going to want to start looking up scholarships and signing up for the College Board Opportunity Scholarships. And so that's along with their website that they offer for students, and that can help you sort of track your scholarships and also guide you through the college planning process. And if I know in Nevada, I've actually talked with Tristan about this, but Nevada actually offers the ACT for students in the spring. And so if you're not, I know most students are already registered for the ACT, but if you would like to take the SAT, I know some colleges are accept either or. It's kind of weird, but luckily right now, I know a lot of colleges are sort of waiving this due to the COVID pandemic. But if you want to register for the SAT, I would suggest registering in the winter because the spots do fill up pretty quick. And then another thing you're going to want to start doing is start researching scholarships, grants, and other financial aid. And so, like we said, different colleges offer different prices for students and different tuition. And so you're going to want to look at that and figure out whether, hey, maybe do I need financial aid? Am I going to have to take out loans? How much money does my tribe offer? Does my tribe offer me money? And also you're going to want to look up more scholarships too. So if you're living on campus, that's one thing you're going to have to think about. You're going to have to pay a little bit more for on-campus housing. And so start thinking early in that winter and maybe hop on the train early, and yeah, you should be set to go. And one other thing in winter that you're going to want to do is stay involved in extracurricular activities. And so I know for the NYCP, we have students who are involved in Unity. So stay involved in Unity, even try and run for leadership positions in Unity, and also get involved in other things. Do you have clubs at your school? If you have clubs, get involved with the clubs. Ask your teachers what you can do. Do community service. Reach out to any orgs that you know. Reach out to even your elders. Maybe they'll know something for you that you can do. But yeah, to stay up with those extracurricular activities. And then another thing you're going to want to do is create a folder for college application materials. So put forms or college information in a hard copy or a digital folder. And so if you're interested in drama, music, or art, start creating a portfolio on what you do, just so you have that all in one place. And it's much easier to have all your info in one place because when it comes to that time where you're going to have to apply to school or even a job, you're going to have all that info there for you. You're going to have your resumes. You're going to have your, if you need like a birth certificate, anything like that, a copy. Having a copy either in a hard copy or digital is really important. And another thing on here that it says is that you're going to have to research college prep programs. And so what that can be is it's very different by how you look at what colleges offer. So there's Native Pathways is actually one. They have Kamehameha Scholars, College Horizons, just anything to sort of learn how to learn more about college. I think that's really what it is. And I know at the University of Nevada, they have a prep program that happens the week before college where they bring in students and sort of put them through a boot camp, that's what you call it. And so the students really get the college experience before they really attend college. And so now we'll move on to the spring. So the flowers are coming out. And so another thing you're going to want to do is meet with your counselor about your college list or a mentor. And so the important thing about meeting with your counselor or a mentor is that you're going to need someone to sort of guide you along the way. Because I mean, you're young, you're still a kid. Like honestly, college students are still youth. They're still young adults, still start learning too. So finding a mentor, getting help from a counselor is going to help you a lot along the way. And so a mentor is a trustworthy adult, older student, and they basically just help you with anything you need. And that can also open doors for other things such as finding clubs, extracurricular activities too. And so in the spring, like we also said, you're going to want to take the SAT or ACT. And once you take these tests, you'll really sort of get that first learning experience of the SAT. And like I said, the first time I took it, I got a higher score than the second time. So you never know if that first score is going to put you into a better college or put you into classes that aren't as like well put as you would like. So it's important to always take that twice if you can, and also take both if you can too, because then you have that balance of scores. Like I said, what if you get a higher score on the ACT? What if you get a higher score on the SAT? And so it's all up to you whether you would like whatever you're comfortable with. But like I said, I think it's best to just take two. And so then again, apply to that college prep program that you may like. You never know whether it may help you. It could give you experiences that from actual college students. It could show you how college runs, because I mean, college is a lot different from high school. I think that was one thing that I wasn't prepared for when I came to college, is that I thought it was just like high school. Like I thought it was like the year after senior year, so the next grade up, so like 13th grade, if that was a thing. And so I treated it sort of like high school, and it wasn't. And so I wish if I was more prepared for college, I think I would have done better my first couple of years. So I think that's why these college prep programs are important for students. And so the next thing you're going to want to do in the spring is create a challenging schedule for your senior year. And so what this does is that not only does it show on your transcript that you are taking challenging courses, but it's a good way to sort of get ready for college. Because like I said too, college is different than high school. Classes are more challenging, and you have to do a lot of things on your own. And this will help you build new skills, give you an idea what college classes are like. And so that's important to sort of set your challenging schedule in that spring time. And work with a counselor, work with a mentor, anything to help you create a schedule. And so for the summer, so you're going to want to take advantage of your summer break. I know it's a time for us to sort of hang out, go to the beach if you have them, go hiking. There's anything other than school is what you want to do in the summertime. But I think this is a good time to take advantage of your summer break. Maybe like carve out an hour or two every week and just look up colleges, look up applications, research applications, because getting into your senior year, that's going to go by like nothing. Like it's going to go by in a snap. And so before you know it, it'll be December. Before you know it, it will be January. And so if you're already on the ball in the summer, you can be way ahead of those applications, and it won't be as stressful once you start applying to colleges. And so after you do this, you're really going to want to continue to research scholarships. And so there are a lot of scholarships out there for Native students, and I can't remember the exact number, but thousands of dollars go unused every year when it comes to scholarships in the United States. And so apply to anything, like honestly, like I've heard students get stuff that they weren't even eligible for just because nobody applied to it. So just look up colleges, apply to anything you see, because you never know if you're going to get that scholarship. And they have like goofy scholarships out there too, like scholarships for like left-handed people, scholarships like drawing, they involve like drawing a portrait, anything like that. Like they make scholarships fun, but they make them still challenging in a way for students to where you have to earn it. And so, yeah, like I said, just keep researching scholarships, and you never know which one you may get. You could get you can get your whole tuition paid. And a lot of people don't tell you, but you actually can get paid. If your scholarships go over the tuition, you can get paid. That money goes back to you. And that's money that you can use on yourself. So I think that's one cool thing about scholarships. And it's almost like one driver to want to apply for more scholarships, because you want to have that extra money, especially in college. And so the next thing you're going to want to do is create your resume. And so when it comes to your resume, you're going to want to work with your mentor or a counselor. You can work with your parents. And also they offer some resources online on how to create a resume. And that, I think that the Native Pathways goes a little bit more into that. So we'll talk about that in the next couple of weeks. And so you're going to also want to start working on your personal statement. And so for those who don't know, the personal statement is basically a statement about yourself that you want others to know. It's something that really highlights you, and also you can share your personal story and thoughts, and take a creative approach and highlight areas that aren't covered in other parts of applications, or just highlight yourself that other people don't know about you. And I think that's really important to show yourself off. It's a time for you to show yourself off to people who, or college applications to where, or potential colleges that you're trying to get into. And during the summer too, it's also a good time to start considering retaking the SAT or ACT. And I'm not sure, we could probably talk about this after, but for the ACT, you may be able to take it a second time. We can go over that a little bit after the show. I'm not really sure, but for the SAT, yeah, you may want to consider signing up for a second time because, like I said, you could get a higher score on the second time. You could get a lower score, so you never know what your score could be in the end. And then on to our senior students. So our senior year, this will be a huge year for you. Not only because you're graduating high school and taking a new step in your life, but this is a good time for you you're basically transitioning to college. You're transitioning to a life outside of high school where you're sort of independent now. Everything is almost on your own. Once you're in college, you're sort of, that's all you. This is the time to start transitioning to college. This is the time to start transitioning to adulthood after high school. And so in the fall of your senior year, what you're going to want to do is narrow your list of colleges to your top 6 choices. And so what that can do is, and it says it below, but you're going to want to participate in college visit programs. So if you have the opportunity, like we have on our page here, to visit colleges, I think it's really important to sort of take an in-depth look into the college. Because honestly, even though a college may look good on the outside, it may have all the amenities, it may have a bowling alley, it may have laser tag, it may have a movie theater, or anything like that. But if it doesn't have exactly what you want for it, it may not be the right college for you. And you don't want to find yourself halfway through your college career like, oh man, I don't think I'm fitting in here. I think I might have to transfer, stuff like that, because that's a whole nother stress that you're going to put on yourself. So it's always good to sort of have your research done beforehand. And so you want to go to the best college. This is going to be a place where you're going to live, possibly. This is going to be a place where you're going to sleep. This is going to be a place where you're going to eat. And so you want to be comfortable at this place. You don't want to be at a college where it doesn't have your favorite food, or you don't want to be somewhere where you feel like you don't fit in. So it's important to do that research beforehand. And another thing in the fall that you're going to want to do is request documents needed for college admission. And so you're going to want to request transcripts from your high school. You're going to want to request, I'm trying to think of some other stuff, but there's a lot of documents that you have documents that colleges require that you don't look at much, like your birth certificate. Like, I'm going to be honest, I don't even know where mine's at right now. That's something I have to get on. But this is like why you have to have these documents beforehand and just make sure you know where they are and make that folder like we said previously and have all those documents in one place so you're ready to go for all the college admissions at once. And then in the fall, if you signed up for that SAT, take that SAT one more time. Hopefully you do better. And also be aware of college application due dates. And this is one thing that a lot of students, it really can take them by surprise, because I know students who miss application dates because they thought they were later. And these colleges, they don't, honestly, they don't mess around. Like, if you missed a date, if you're 1 day late, that can change you from getting into an amazing college to you having to go to like your second choice, your third choice college. And make sure you get on that early. Know the dates, put them in a calendar, write them on your body, write them on your wrist, anything to get you to remember. Chalk them on your wall, anything. Because just knowing those dates is really important, because you don't want to miss out on those. And when it comes to dates too, you don't want to miss. Colleges have other due dates within them. So if you're living in housing may be due that December or November or even January, February. And so if you miss out on the housing, you're not really going to have a place to live. And so you're going to want to get on those dates early. Just make sure you're aware of all the dates that the college application has. And in the fall, so you're going to want to fill out the college applications, like we said. Gather those documents for financial aid, and ask counselors to send your official high school transcripts to colleges. And so that goes along with the request documents needed for college admission. And so for the winter, that's when you're going to want to make and keep copies of your applications and essays. Because one thing students don't really think about is that they can use the same ones for each one. if it's the same question for each application at least. And so you're going to want to keep all this stuff together. And honestly, if you have everything together in one place, you can just, it's almost like copy paste into each application. You can just do it real quick. It's not really as stressful. And so it's important to make sure you have those copies of your applications and essays. And another thing you're going to want to do is follow up with your counselor or teacher to see if any colleges you apply to require a second semester transcript. And so that's one thing you're going to want to connect with your counselor or mentor about, and they can definitely help you when it comes to getting your hands on the second semester transcript. And so keep applying those scholarships, keep applying, like we said, to anything, even if they're funding scholarships, just anything to get that money for school, because it's the best feeling in the world to not have any debt once you leave college. So now the spring, you're approaching graduation. And so in the spring, if you can visit your final college options to help you make your final decision, that would be awesome. And so like we said earlier, this is something you're going to want to do because you never know, you may even want to visit a college twice. And that's why also on our ANNY videos, we offer college tours, we offer visits with students on campus. We offer students who are there on those campuses. And so listen to our videos, listen to what they say about the schools, listen to how they feel as a Native student at white universities, listen to how Native students feel at tribal colleges. They're all different. And so tune into those, talk to students and see how they feel on campus. And hopefully that you'll be able to find your right college for you. And then review any financial aid awards. And so if you get anything for financial aid, just make sure to go through it correctly, because I know for myself, financial aid will offer me like X amount of money. And then one semester they may offer me a lower amount. And one semester they may offer me a high amount and then not take it off the next semester when I don't need that much money. Then you'll have a lot of money that you don't really, or that you have left over. And so I think it's important for you to really go over these financial aid awards with your parents, your guardians, maybe even your mentor, just to make sure everything sounds good and make sure everything's correct. And contact those institutions too when it comes to that, because most institutions do have a Native counselor, Native advisor, someone who could help you with this. And so those are usually people who have seen the mess ups that happen with financial aid. And so they're usually a really good resource when it comes to helping with financial aid awards. And also notify your counselor or your mentor of your final choice. And also notify your parents, notify your family where you're going. You don't want to just leave one day and end up in Lawrence, Kansas, and without your parents knowing. So yeah, notify your counselor and mentors of your final choice. And ask about first-year fellowship programs. And so for those who don't know, some first-year fellowship programs could be like Centers for Native Students, Native-centered housing, Native fraternity sorority, Native organizations, recruitment programs. And so I know the university that we have, or that I attend, we have multiple programs for first-gen students. What else? For Latinx students, Native students. There's programs all over campus that are just specific for those students, and they can help you out. And this is also a time to relax. The college admission process isn't easy. Congratulate yourself and thank those who helped you along with your journey. Because yeah, this is a huge step in your life, like we said before. You're moving into adulthood, you're moving into a time when you're really starting to make decisions on your own. And it's important to keep up on those grades, like we said, but also don't forget to relax. Don't forget to use self-care. If you're struggling, contact somebody, contact your mentor, counselor, anything like that, because this is a stressful process. I'm gonna be honest with you. And if you just treat it as something that isn't, you're really gonna hide that stress that is inside you, and it could end up coming back to you later. And so relax. Congratulate yourself first off for going to college, because I've heard the statistics on Native people who go to college, and you being in that small percentage of students who are attending is huge. And so just think about everybody else too. And we had another student on here who inspired me. She said, her name was Alyssa Songoy. She said that for every one Native student who goes to college, they're affecting 30 more people. So 30 more younger students are looking at you, 30 more, even adults are looking at you going to school and thinking about going back to school. So realize that you being there is awesome. And we're super proud of you for graduating high school and going to college. And so that summer before school, start making lists of things you need when you go to college, get experience and earn some spending money, stay up to date on events at your college or university. So if you like sports or anything like that that can be going on in the fall, be sure to look up on that. Read and respond promptly to all information and forms you receive from your college. So make sure you look at that information. You don't want to miss anything, any little dates that are hidden inside there. And also take those summer enrichment courses or courses at local colleges. So if you want to get ahead in the game, I know you can take colleges at community colleges, and they'll transfer over to your university or college wherever you go to. And so that summer is really an important time too. Don't really relax too much during that summer just because you're going to college. But yeah, just make sure to be on top of things. Make sure to be on top of all your forms and information, and you should be good to go for school. And so one thing about College Board's booklet that they offer at the end is a section to get to know yourself. And I think this is really important for everybody, including myself right now, or college students and even adults. And so your future begins with you. It's a journey. Asking yourself questions can help you figure out who you are and where you want to go. And so we'll go over a little bit in these questions in a little bit, but they are: what are some things you think you do well? What challenges you? What do you do for fun? Who do you look up to? What's something you've always wanted to try? What accomplishments are you most proud of? What's your favorite class? What do you read about or do in your free time? If you could do any job for the day, what would it be? And so think about those questions and think about, maybe get to know yourself a little bit more. And honestly, for any adults out there listening tonight, think about this too. Get to know yourself a little bit right now, because you never know how you've changed over time. And even there's high school students out there, you may never know how you may change from your junior year to your senior year, or your senior year to college. So make sure to keep up on this little list that we have right here. And so thank you all for coming out to our little presentation that we have. We're going to talk a little bit more after this, but here's some resources that we have right here. They have the Advanced Placement Program, and this is all in the booklet too. And so like I said, we're going to be posting this for everybody who's here. You feel free to take a look at the resources. And I just sort of skimmed over the booklet too. So there's a lot more information in the booklet for you to look at. And so it has FAFSA.gov, College Search, Cobell Scholarship, American Indian Graduate Center. And yeah, Native youth are our future. We really believe in you guys. That's why we're here to help you out today. And we hope to see everyone in school or just any type of career in the future. So thank you.
Thank you, Avery. I really appreciate that short presentation. And I think you probably went through a lot of these yourself as, becoming you even while you were in college, to make sure that scholarships were being provided and you weren't taking out any loans, hopefully. So, and I think, I just listening to this, I know there's some colleges that offer summer programs before you get to college. And another thing was the personal statements. I think a lot of times it's really hard. I know it was hard for me for a long time to really kind of talk about myself and my accomplishments and the things that we've done, because as Native people, sometimes that's really hard, and we always have someone else is always doing that for us. But I challenge you as young people to kind of, keep that in your mind, humble yourself, but at the same time, think about what you're doing. If you're on student council, or you're a basketball player, or even if it's intramural basketball playing, just make sure that you highlight those things and talk about the successes and even the challenges that occur in your young lives. It's really important for, people who are reading those personal statements. And, Sandra and I have been on a couple of those selection committees where we're looking at the applications for people who are applying for these scholarships. And, sometimes we get scholarships for Native American and the people aren't Native American. They think they're Native American because they are, but they're not Native American Indian. So, you know, there's just so much, like you said, scholarships that are untapped. And man, there's a couple scholarships we've been on, Sandra, that can we just give this money away? Could somebody please just apply for this money? So please, you know, don't discount yourself for not being able to not apply. There's a lot of them that are available to our young students who are going into college and those who are in college already. Sometimes they want to see what your first year of college is going to look like. So make sure you're paying attention to those things as well. And I'm really happy that Tristan's on here tonight, because I know Avery's been doing a lot of work with Tristan and talking with him and, you know, mentoring him. And, you know, we're so fortunate that we've had some amazing people on the ANNY in the last couple months that are taking on mentees who are making sure that our students are striving to be better, bigger and better than what we ever had. I mean, these things and these resources weren't available to a lot of us. Sandra.
So a few things that just flew out at me during the presentation is I can visualize sitting in my office and having some of these discussions with Avery when he was as a student. When I worked at the university, I can recall times where I sat with my middle school students and my elementary students and my high school students, and we'd go through these college planning exercises. Dina said it really well. You already have a network. So I want everyone that's watching this right now on this live stream, if you're thinking to yourself, Avery said, right, he said, create your college going cohort, right? The people you're going to tell, the people you're going to celebrate with when you do your application. I want you to also think about, okay, right now, I'm going to start writing down, who's in my college planning cohort. Who am I going to be able to reach out to? Because I know I'm going to need some support in this journey, right? Avery mentioned that. And Ferdina talked about scholarships here just a minute ago. We know, I'll tell you, when I apply for stuff, Dina is one of my go-tos. I go to her, hey, does this look okay? We need that support group too as adults, right? So I want you right now to say, you can already put 3 people on that list, right? You probably have others you can put 2, but 3 people you can put on that list right now. The names are on the screen. Avery Wright, Ferdina J. Romero, Sandra Mitrovich. We're in I can tell you without even, saying to them, we know we're already in that group. We're there on your side. You can reach out to us for that support through ANNY. So I want you can even start as simple as that. Who are those folks that you can reach out to in your community, in your family? You have someone in your family that's gotten that college degree, right? And I said that to some people. I said, think about the people that you interact with daily. Do they have a college experience? Do they have a career experience? Do they go to work and have this career that they go to, that they enjoy, that they love? You already have people you can ask. And so those are a couple of things. And the other thing Dina said that was really, really important just a minute ago about scholarships, you never know if you don't ask or if you don't apply. The worst somebody can say, right, is no. And even if they say no, we're going to try again. We're going to apply again. We're going to go after it again. So those are a couple of things. I definitely just the highlights out of the presentation Avery gave is I really want you to know you already have a support network. We're here with you to start this journey. And so I'm excited to see what comes out of tonight's events. And the other thing I wanted to mention too, really quickly, Avery walked us through a really structured process tonight to get us started. We don't just want to reference these guidebooks so that you're like, oh, okay, yeah, and we stick it in the drawer, stick it in the backpack. This is an ongoing living process. So we're going to start this off tonight. We're going to kick it off, right? But we're going to keep going. So we're going to work through this. So just know that this is not just one conversation. We're going to keep it moving.
So Tristan, thinking about those questions that Avery had up, one question that comes out of one of those is, what are some things that you think you do well?
does it have to necessarily relate to like education, or can it be like something else?
Anything.
Could be anything.
I mean, personally, I just feel like I'm well with like respect and like listening and stuff like that.
And push-ups too, huh? And
Well,
so I know. No, you're
go
good,
ahead,
Dina.
Avery. Well, even just that one little thing, I'm like thinking, oh my gosh, a list of things that just come flooding through me that you would be awesome at as a profession. And I mean, it doesn't necessarily always just have to be the standard things. It could be something underneath one of those sub pops. Like if you're a counselor, well, are you going to be a school counselor? Or are you going to, you like sports, so there's all kinds of options out there. It's not just, you're not just tied into one thing anymore. You have so many options. So like, for instance, what do you do for fun?
For fun, I like play basketball. I try and develop my game, and I like to run, work out pretty much.
Again, a strength I see is you're challenging yourself. You're self-motivating. So yeah, that's awesome. Avery?
Oh yeah. I was gonna say these these questions, Tristan, I think they're a lot more important than people think too. Because when it comes to high school and growing up through the K through 12 system, we're often asked, "Oh, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And it's like, I don't know, a fireman, police officer. It's always the same things. Oh, what do you want to be when you? Oh, the president, something like that. But like they don't ask you like what comes along with these jobs, and they don't ask you these questions like this where it really makes you think about maybe what you actually want to be. I think that's why asking these questions are really important, because it really not only does it challenge yourself, but I think it really aligns you more with the career or college that you would like to go to, or even the degree that you would like to join in on. And so I think another question that I have for you too is, what are some things that you've always wanted to try? Like, what are some new things that you think you want to try in the future?
I would say just finding out further more of like what I wanted to do. Like there's certain things that I would like to do, but I need to know more of like what it's about and why I'd want to do it. I'm still kind of in the middle on a few thoughts.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, we've talked about on these shows too, like a lot of Native students like you, we all come out in this sort of same situation where we don't really know what we want to do. We have to try things out. And I'm going to be honest, I changed my major like 5 times because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I went into each one. I was like, I'm not really feeling this. So I changed it again. But I think having that early start that you are having right now, where you're asking yourself these questions, is really important, because you really think of stuff that you really want to try. And that can be anything too. You can want to try skydiving. You can want to try new food, but there's anything to sort of expand your mind and really figure out who you are as a person. And this changes too. Like I said, you should take this all the time, because these questions do change. Like I used to hate vegetables. I used to never eat Chinese food, but now that's my favorite food. Like we change all the time. So it's important to always take these tests like this.
That's really true, Avery, because I was just thinking about, I'm reading a book, and I don't want to get political, but it's more a poli-sci book. And that was actually my first love of degree that I wanted to go into, but I took the easy route and did something else. So, but I'm like coming back to that, to kind of learn more about the process and reading about, different people. And I know that was one of the questions, like, what are you reading now? So, yeah. Sandra, you had something to say. I'm sorry.
No, I love that. I love that. And I love that Avery said in the presentation, adults do this too. Look at these questions too. And so one of the things that if all of us could answer maybe briefly too, what was your favorite class? Or if you had a favorite class. I mean, you know, I don't know, you know, it's so hard to pick. I think some of us have gone to school for a long time, so try to pick one. But if you had a favorite class, what would it be? Tristan, do you want to kick us off and we'll all join in? But do you have a favorite class, or what was your favorite? And it doesn't have to be from high school. It could be anytime.
I actually have two of them. My favorite classes are weights and math.
Ooh, weights and math. I love it.
Which math? Or any?
Right now I'm in algebra 2. I like the easy stuff personally, like elementary. Back in elementary, I feel like that was more my speed. And now it's like to bump it up.
Yep. Yeah, I was always a math person too. I remember growing up. I don't know why. I just like loved the problem solving, and getting to the answer just felt good. But I think for my favorite class, it was probably in college. It was actually about a year ago now. I know I take an Indigenous feminism class. I'm taking that right now. It's really amazing. But to sort of go off of like Native stuff, my favorite class was politics and film. And so what we did is we watched, and so the teacher, his name was Dr. Seltzer, but he taught the class through sci-fi film. So we watched sci-fi movies like Mad Max. What else did we watch? A lot of Black Mirror, Twilight Zone. What else? Contact. We watched a ton of movies. V for Vendetta. There's anything sci-fi. He taught the class through sci-fi film. And I thought that was so interesting. I actually made my own movie trailer for that class for a sci-fi film, where it was basically I got to create my own storyline and my storyline was that the world is sort of like a wasteland, and natives are still here, still struggling with the same issues that they are, except we've had to get water from the clouds. And so natives found a way to get water from the clouds, and they sort of still fight over clouds with people. But yeah, it was a really interesting class, and I think that's the best way to teach people, because we really I always learned politics through the books and through like old theorists, but actually learning it through like a creative perspective was I feel like I learned the most about politics during that time than I did any other class. So I thought that was really cool.
Nice. You know, for me, I'm not a science person. That's why I said when you guys were saying math, I was like, not me. But I have an appreciation for it for sure. But my undergrad degree is in history and ethnic studies. And believe it or not, one of my favorite classes as an undergrad was biology. And it was because it was so different out of what I was studying. I did so much writing and reading with history. It just presented a different perspective. And I loved it. And what actually made the difference is the faculty, the professor that was teaching it. He was fantastic. He would get us outside to do a lot of our classes and our lectures. And so that I really appreciated that he kind of took a different approach and got us out of the lab and out of the classroom. So that was probably one of my favorite classes, favorite experiences. Yeah. What about you, Dina? Did you have a favorite class?
I was going to say Shakespeare. I had a really good Shakespeare teacher. So and there was another class. This teacher, he was mid-century-ish as well, and he would throw quotes out, and you never got one wrong. You always, if you could think of like why you thought that was a quote, even if it was wrong, he still gave you points if you had a creative answer. And I really like those kind of teachers that take you outside of the box and don't like just narrow you into that box, but make your mind kind of think a little bit further. And so yeah, that was mine. Shakespeare. I love Shakespeare.
I love it. I love it. Avery's laughing away over there.
Yeah, I was gonna say recite a line for us.
I don't remember. My college experience was 20 plus years ago.
And I think one thing I really forgot to mention about my favorite class was that I think it was because I had a relationship with the teacher that he was one of the only professors that actually like would bring me to the side and like talk to me after class. And I think that was really important because not a lot of professors do that, especially when it comes to college classes. Like he was like, oh, hey, what'd you think about the film today? Like simple questions like that, or like, oh, how's your day going today? But a lot of teachers don't ask that, especially for native students. We need that sort of relationship with teachers in order to do well, honestly, in many classes. So I think that was really important thing about the class that I liked the most.
Yeah, and I think it's important for our high school students to see now, to be able to talk with their teachers and their schools, so that once they get to college, they have to ask a lot of questions. There's questions all the time you have to ask. And I know we're almost ready to start our closing, Avery, but I do want to acknowledge our two students who will probably join us at another time. Again, as everybody knows, connectivity in rural Nevada and Frontier Nevada is very hard. So we're glad that Tristan actually stayed on. But we had Haley Keats, who is 17 years old. She's a senior at Yerington High School. And I'm sure she'll join us again on another date, as well as Larcy Ferguson, and she is 16 years old and a junior at Yerington High School. So we look forward to seeing them in future presentations. So, and I also want to say a shout out to Dwayne Reeder. Hi, Dwayne. We're happy that you're watching us again. Okay, Avery, turning it back over to you.
Cool. Yeah, thank you for everyone who's out there watching right now. And if you missed any bits of our presentation, just feel free, you can rewatch this video once it's over, I think about 10 minutes or 5 minutes after it's ended. And also follow our YouTube page. All of our past videos post to our YouTube page, so you can watch them whenever. And if you have any students who want to learn more about this guidebook, or if you want to learn more about this guidebook as a educator or an adult, just feel free to check out the video, give it a like, give it a share, share our page. Next week, like I said, we're going to be having IAIA. And yeah, we thank you all for coming here tonight. Thank you, Tristan, especially for taking the time out of your day. Sandra, thank you again. And yeah, we look forward to continuing this in the future.
Thank you both for coming.
Thank you for having us. And Tristan, I look forward to working with you in the future. And I just wanted to encourage everybody, please reach out to the ANNY staff. We're here for you. So.
Thank you.
Cool. And yeah, thanks, Dina, for coming on tonight again. I know you're traveling right now. We see the hotel in the back. So you're still able to come on. But yeah, like I said, we're come on again next week on Thursday. We're going to be having Warrior Browns going to give us a little presentation about the school. And yeah, in the next couple of weeks too, we're going to be going over the Native Pathways guidebook, which is the same, but it has a lot of different things that it offers compared to the College Board guidebook. And I posted the guidebook in the comments for people to check out. And also we will post it again on our page. I'll post it on my personal Facebook page too for people to look at. And yeah, download it, look it over, carve some time out of the week, carve an hour, half hour out of the week to sort of read through the book. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you all in the next couple of weeks too.
Yeah, and thank you, Teresa Wright, for letting us know that there are some colleges you can apply early admissions. Really great comments, and we're hoping that you'll be able to look at that guidebook, and we'll offer some other guidebooks as well, right, Avery? We'll present some other.
Oh, yep. In the next couple of weeks, we'll present them. We'll present them all through January. So feel free to tune into our page, and yeah, we'll see everyone next week. Have a great weekend almost.
Thank you.
Okay, see everyone later.